Welcome to Unpublished, a work in progress audio podcast by Denise Renee. Here I share past unpublished creative works, current writing projects, still in process, and whatever whimsical musings or deep thoughts I have about the creative process. If this is your vibe, then keep listening as I get into today's content. Hey writers, welcome to Unpublished episode 2. The day I'm recording this is Friday, April 20. Hold on, what's today's? Is it 26? I think it's 26. Hold on. Check my little calendar. Yes, baby, it is Friday, April 26, 2024, as I am recording this. And today I'm going to be sharing a piece that I wrote back in 1994. It was the summer before my senior year of college. And I won't call this a short story. I'd say it's more like a sketch. It's just, and by a sketch, I mean, it's kind of like a watercolor. It's like an artist just, picked up some watercolors and just splashed some paint across the canvas and just, blurred some lines and just, went free flowing. It's not a story. It's not a chapter. It's just a sketch with words. And it's called David. Maybe it's the way the sun dances on the waves, playing on the deep Lord, I need my glasses. Hold on, child. Let me go get my glasses because ain't nobody got time for this 2.5 font that I typed it in. Hold on. Okay. All right. Okay. Hello. It's bigger and it's better. All right. David. Maybe it's the way the sun dances on the waves, playing on the deep, wintry blue color, winking down your spine, leaving a warmth the size of a penny in the hollow of your back, with touches of white foam here and there to frost the look, and make it seem so warm and inviting, you could almost taste it. Maybe it's the way the sky is so deep and seems so limitless at night, as if a master craftsman, deftly skilled in the perceptual art, started with a piece of velvet that seems to go back in itself forever, and carefully arranged each of the millions of specks of pale yellow and dull white to accentuate its beauty. It could be the way the sun reaches its full strength by 7 a.m. and all of a sudden disappears 13 hours later, leaving only the night, which comes on as suddenly as the day disappears, and its winds that bring smells of the sea to your nose as a love offering. Or maybe it's the earth itself, red and hard and raw, giving way only to prickly plants that contain their own water in drought, but blushing with all sorts of luscious fruits in times of dew. Whatever it is, there's something about this island that loosens the reins one has over one's emotions and casts things and people into different pastels, blurring the lines and leaving only suggestions of what should be. David, an unobtrusive and quiet sort, with a smile behind his eyes that suggests a secret unshared, with a slow, calculated speech that takes its life's breaths in silence, with skin smooth and dark and dusk imbued with sensuality. He lives in the house right before my grandfather's. It's basically in Daddy's yard. It looks more like a large tool or storage shed belonging to the larger house, not at all like an entity unto itself. The windows are almost always closed. You can never tell if he's out or home, listening to your very words through the cracks. He comes over sometimes during the 15-minute period too short to call dusk, and sits on Daddy's porch and talks with him and us. The way he situated himself, his posture, the curvature his back made as he sat on the ledge and leaned against the wall, made me wish I could draw. I wish I could have painted his picture, or somehow captured to the fullest in words the overall serene picture he made, maintaining each detail of the quiet manner and air around him that's laced with mystery. On first glance, he's not extraordinary looking, but he does have a pleasant and typical West Indian face, with eyes set just wide enough apart, His nose is as straight as an African's will get, not being the direct result of an interracial coupling, with a small flair to it. His lips are almost as dark as his face, and as full as the guinep tree that used to bear before Hurricane Hugo took it away in '89. With a casual tilt to his head and an averted gaze set on some point outside of his visual scope, he talks in slow, calculated words. He's careful not to reveal any kind of specifics of what he calls his business. His voice is full, but not very deep, and fragranced with a slight wistfulness, the voice of a dreamer. His body is that of a worker, perfectly toned from physical labor, nicely accented by a cotton tank that smooths its fibers over his chiseled abdomen. Sometimes you feel to take a comb through the tiny curled hairs across his chest. Yet for all this, he's not wildly handsome, or at least I'm not attracted to him as such. But I am extremely, slightly curious about him. He doesn't stir up steamy passion within one, but merely a lingering curiosity that gently blows across your mind like an evening breeze. Lusty scenes don't fill your heart, nor do you imagine or desire him feeling you or even in you. There is, however, only this one small, pressing curiosity as to what his upper lip might feel like, or maybe what his tongue tastes like. But maybe he knows that, because maybe a similar thought is going through his mind. He was watching me out of the corner of his eye. His brown eyes sparkle, but they are deep. He holds his head back when looking at me, as if sizing up or approving his prey. I'm wearing a loose-fitting straight dress that hugs my curves in all the right spots, and my hair is pulled back to see all of my face. He says that I look like one of them strong African women. His voice was filled with admiration, and desire crept in when he said strong. I gave a slight smile. He's not the first to say something of that sort. He wets his lips a bit. He mentions my sister and does some oral calculation. Then he told me my age. He's off by a few years. 20 is a bit too young for him since he turned 36 today. Besides, Daddy would kill him for the thought alone. No matter. He could take me or leave me as far as he's concerned. He may be alone, but he'll never go out of his way over a woman to disturb his calm exterior. See, David is the type that will let you believe what you want about him. But once you stumble upon this realization, you're actually not upset. Nor do you start racking your brain trying to clarify and correct according to the new realization any thought you may have had about him prior. Instead, mixed with a curiosity, if not because of, there's a sort of sadness or compassion for him in his solitude, but definitely not pity, because it's a solitude that he welcomes. It's his protection from the world, receiving what he will of it in doses. But whatever its function, it is solitude nonetheless. This, for the lack, heartache for him, is something of unsettling because there is some unspeakable hurt you can't quite describe or reach to comfort. It makes you feel powerless as you search deep within yourself for something you could possibly do to make him, if not you, feel better. But truly, all you could do is hope to soothe the emotional symptoms because the disease is unidentifiable to the eye. And you're stirred to a strange action. It makes you want to, if nothing else, spend the night with him. Not to baby or mother him, but just to keep his company till the sun rises. As if the giving of yourself could, if only for some time, somehow fill the void. Yet, knowing full well that you can't. So you won't even bother to exert the energy to make him breakfast. That would be crossing the border into the dangerous pity territory. No, it would be best to slip out as the fowls are crowing and he's rolling over in his last stage of sleep, a slight smile still on his face from what he has held in his hand the night before, so that when he awakens and you're not there, it would be as if it were a dream. Indeed, it would only affect him as such. He would start his day as he did the one before, and he'd go through the rest of the day with the sameness to his manner, an evenness as though nothing ever touched the cool, dark surface of his skin. Nothing would hint to the world what transpired. The fellas who pressure him to find a girl marry would assume it was just another quiet night for their friend. You might even have to remember hard what happened, not because it was bad. Whether it was good or bad would not have been the point, but Had it never happened, you would never miss it, because he would still be living in the little house in front of Daddy's house that looks more like a storage or tool shed instead of an entity on its own, with the doors and windows shut. He would still have the same smile behind his deep brown eyes that puts you on edge because it is as if it were a secret unshared. But that's him. He's a hard worker with a good heart. David for Ninning Kids. And scene. So, like I said, it was just a sketch. It was just a watercolor. And yes, for all of the grammar geeks, it does flow in and out of first person and third person and reliable and unreliable narrator and in and out of present and past tense. But it was a sketch. It was a watercolor. So those observations or criticisms out of the way, let me know what you think. And I'll see you in the next episode of Unpublished.